going, everybody? There we go. How's it going? Welcome back to the Jam. My name is Jay Stark, and joining me as always is my fearless co-host,
Mr. Matt Snyder,
Champion
of Justice. Yes.
Oh, that is a great one.
Yes.
I almost feel like you need to have that up in like a spotlight into the sky. Matt Snyder, Champion of Justice.
Oh, whatever. I mean,
oh man.
just because I save, babies
Lives.
from burning buildings and stuff.
Yes, you do. Well, Mr. Matt Snyder, I am excited to be back live in the studio with our adoring fans. So happy to be with you guys. So much has happened since last week. I'm sure you're already aware of the big news, but in case you're not, we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But before we do, Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
What is new and exciting?
Lots of things. Well, first of all, we recorded last week.
We did record last week.
That's not really like as new as it is exciting.
Oh.
I just wanted to talk about that. What are you?
I thought you were talking about the Jam, the podcast. I'm like, of course we recorded.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
I couldn't figure out. You're looking at me like blank face. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No, it's great. It was great. Really good stuff.
That's quite the
That's what I'm going to say. But it really was.
It was so cool to have Chris Albin live in studio again, to see everything that he was going through, all of the examples that he shared. And then there was even an opportunity where he went through one of the properties, and he completely mangled it. But it was good to see his process on how he was able to correct the situation, go back, rework the numbers, and then solve one more time with the correct numbers. But it was one of those situations where it was just like, part of the experience in being in the audience of a live broadcast is that you get to see all the elements of production, right?
Yeah.
You get to see behind the curtain, as it were. And Chris is such a pro that he completely messed up, and we were able to just start that section over again, and he walked through it and he did it phenomenally. So it was just great having him in studio again. I love his content. I love what he shares. I can't even tell you the number of times that in my investing career I have gone back and rewatched either part or all of one of Chris's classes, because the content is just that good. It's like, I got to be really careful as I get into this transaction to make sure that I don't fall into any of the pitfalls that are right in front of me, and so I'll go back through the list or finding the deal of the decade every week. That one is incredible because it talks all about how you can find properties that haven't even made it to the market yet, might not even know that they're a for sale property yet.
Yeah.
And you're able to identify them.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the owners might not even know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's pretty awesome because you can be the first one to be able to present a solution for the individuals who own the property and say, hey, you may not be in a place right now, but this is when you are. I'm here for you, kind of thing.
Yep.
And I was just, I love that class. It's been something that I've relied on. My wife and I have been able to use the strategies that he talks about in finding the deal of the decade every week multiple times, probably 20 plus times.
Oh, wow.
And have been able to go out there and help a lot of people who are in some tough situations.
Yeah.
Whether one situation in particular, and I won't mention names or anything, or even when exactly this happened.
But the address was... No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. But the gentleman, he was living in his mom's home. His mom had passed away.
Okay.
And he continued to live in her home because he didn't know where else to go or what else to do. He had two siblings. Neither one of them was in the state. And when Whitney went and talked with him, the power had been shut off and the water had been shut off to the home.
Oh, wow.
So he's squatting in this home, no power, no water.
Wow.
And anyway,
my gosh,
we were able to present him with a solution. Yeah. We were able to first help him find housing and benefits that he qualified for through some different programs, and we got him into a clean, safe place to live, that with obviously water and power.
Yeah.
And then we were able to clean up his mom's home for him. His one desire was that his mom's credit, her name, not be dragged through the mud after she had passed away. And so we were able to stay the auction on the home because it was going to auction. We stayed the auction. We were able to then fix it up, and we were able to turn around and actually pay him some money once we had completed the entire project, which was not part of the deal at all. But we were just like, hey, you know what? We did okay on this. We're going to share what we have with him.
Oh, that is cool.
And there were just tears. He was just brought to tears, especially when we told him that we had ensured that his mom's name would not be tarnished with any kind of negative financial impact from the home.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments that it's like, this is why we do what we do. We're problem solvers to help relieve people's pain and frustration when they get into a situation and they feel stuck.
Yep.
We are the unstickers.
That's literally what I was going to say. This is why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Right. I love that. I love those. I've heard so many, probably at this point, hundreds of those stories. I love what we do.
Yeah.
I think oftentimes people, when they hear that, you're buying a home that the homeowner doesn't even know is on the market yet or something, and in some way you must be taking advantage of them or something, right? And that's not it at all.
Right.
It creates a win-win-win. It's a win for everybody and the house, right? So the buyer. So
the buyer, the house, the neighborhood, everybody involved.
Oh yeah. I didn't even think about the neighborhood, but I'm sure they're happy to have the house
cleaned up.
Yeah, everything gets cleaned up, and then things get taken care of, because we've all seen those houses where it kind of everything starts to go to pot because of a situation like this.
Yeah.
So
it was really a learning experience for us. We were able to help him, and I think I've talked about this before, but as we have gone and found people who were in need in this way, we would present them with 3 or 4 solutions. The last solution, number 4, was always it was us taking ownership of the home somehow. 90+% of the people that we met with chose one of the other options, 1 through 3. But we provided them those options, and in doing that, we were able to educate them, empower them, and give them hope when oftentimes they felt absolutely stuck, hopeless.
Yep.
And it was so interesting to be able to help those individuals, because they became raving fans.
Of course.
And it was
some guy showed up on their doorstep and helped them.
Right.
Yeah.
And then didn't have to pay us anything. They didn't anything.
Yeah. And you got them into a place with food and water, running water, and benefits and all that stuff. So
yeah, I'm trying to think of who said it originally, but you will get paid, you will earn according to the problems that you can solve, right? The bigger the problem you can solve, the more money you're going to make solving that problem.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't talk about the joy that you can feel, the satisfaction that you can feel when you help somebody else solve their problem.
Big time, especially when they don't have the ability to do it.
Yeah.
Just based on what you described, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what this gentleman was, the kind of state of mind that he probably was in. Not somebody who's really going to take care of themselves, or it's just, it sounds like it was just a huge win for everybody. So that's cool.
It really was. His mom, this part was really interesting. His mom was an addict in recovery and had been for a long time, but she was very empathetic for anyone else who was in the throes of addiction or anywhere else in that journey. And so her home had become kind of a way station for any individual who just needed a place for a couple of nights, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And because of that, the house was filled with all sorts of stuff, just people's stuff, right?
Yeah.
And was also a meth house, and so we cleaned it all out. Literally took it down to the studs, cleaned the entire thing.
Yeah.
And
this guy was living in it.
He was.
That's not great.
No, it was really a hard situation, but Yeah, we had neighbors thanking us.
Yeah,
because
you just remediated a meth house on the neighborhood.
Exactly.
On the block.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it became the prettiest house on the block. I'm just saying. I mean, I am biased.
Yeah.
But whatever. It was a lot of fun. It was a great project, and it really cemented in my mind what exactly our opportunity is as we really try to be the good we wish to see in the world. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Sorry, I got way off track because of what Chris Albin's education has meant to me in my business.
Yeah, that was a great way to get off track. I like that. Really.
Oh man, we have 3 other things that I want to talk about. Two that I want to talk about before we get into our main conversation here. The first one is that now is the time for ICM renewals. So in Renatus, we have the opportunity to renew the ICM agreement once a year, annually. So for individuals that got started for the very first time this year, then there is a decreased payment schedule. Prorated. There you go.
But it's not like exactly. It's prorated to like sections of the year.
Yeah.
Daily,
not like a percent of the year or anything like that. Instead, if you signed up as an ICM between January 1st and June 1st, then your renewal fee is $197.
Yep.
If you signed up after June 1st but before October 1st, then it is $125.
I believe $125 is what it is.
And if you signed up after October 1st, the renewal fee is $0. We just need you to sign the updated agreement.
Yep.
So that's the schedule. But really what it is it's an opportunity to commit to yourself one more time about your level of commitment and dedication to your own business and to your own progress. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't really understand until kind of recently what the phrase meant when somebody said, "Those who pay attention."
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure most people have heard that phrase. And if you haven't, let me be the first. That's just, originally from Jay Stark. Just kidding. I didn't say that first.
Yeah, it's
been around for a long time.
For a little while.
But the fact of the matter is those individuals who put skin in the game,
yep.
who are willing to sacrifice for the goal, those are the ones that actually pay attention and make progress. If we gave our education away for free, or if we, the example that I always go back to in my mind is an example that one of my professors gave to me. Mm-hmm. He was from India, and in India, he had been contracted as a public relations advertising specialist to help the Indian government to give these insect nets to all of the loggers that would go out into the forest and go logging for a week. So for a week at a time, they would go into the forest, they sleep in hammocks, and a lot of them would come back with malaria because they'd get bitten by mosquitoes, especially at night, and then they'd come back, they were sick. It was a crisis in India. And so the government had actually developed this new insect net that they could put over their hammock that would protect them, especially at night. And it lasted like a couple of years, and it could have like a 4-inch hole, and anything that went through that hole would still die or be repelled or whatever.
Probably permethrin. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Permethrin-based fabric.
Yeah. But what they found was they could not give it away. They tried to give it to the individuals who were logging. They couldn't give it away. Instead, they would find
my head around that.
They would just throw it away, because the value that you exchange for something is how much you value it.
I know, but do you know how much I don't want malaria? Yeah.
Well, not everyone understands the full consequence of getting malaria, right? Yeah. And anyway, so what they ended up doing is they reversed it. They flipped it on its head, and they charged them a month's salary for one of these things, and they sold out of them. And there's a whole lot more that went into that than just charging more, because they did a lot of promotion with different popular hobbies at the time, TV shows, different things.
People started to understand the value. Yeah.
They saw the value, and then all of a sudden the government sold out of them.
Wow.
And so, those people who pay attention. They take seriously the value exchange, so that when they put their money, their effort, their time into a benefit, they are committed and are concerned with the outcome.
I mean, it's anecdotal, but or maybe because of the people that come to me and tell me these stories are the success stories, so it's possible that there's others out there. But
Right.
I tend to hear the story. I love hearing the stories of people who really had to scrape together to come up with the money to buy Renatus Education, and then they're the ones that diligently went through their classes
Right.
and then followed every step and started doing real estate. And they seem to be, because I also there's times where like I have to get into somebody's account. I'm looking at education history and it's zeros, and they bought whatever two years ago or something.
Right.
And it's like they never got into it, and that just baffles me, especially because I mean that's a lot of money to just not use it.
Right.
Right. And I have no idea why or what the story is, because I haven't heard from them. I don't even know
Right.
them
Right.
oftentimes, and I'm just baffled. But yeah, I tend to, the stories that I hear, people scraping to get the money together, and then they're showing up here. They're going through their classes, like regularly, and they end up doing tons of real estate.
Right. I mean, okay. I'm going to use an example. This is not necessarily a Renatus example. However, he was a student of Renatus.
Yeah.
Yesterday, you and I had the opportunity to meet an individual
Yep.
who came here to the corporate office.
Mm-hmm.
And he told us his story in a nutshell. He told it really, really quickly. I'm sure there's a lot more detail that went into it.
Mm-hmm.
In essence, he was living in California. He got in trouble and ended up going to prison for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
He got out of prison. He got educated, and Renatus was part of that education because he is a customer of Renatus, but I'm not saying it was all of his education.
Right.
And he's got into real estate.
Yeah.
And now he is absolutely killing it. And it's all because he was committed to the path. He knew the value of getting educated. And ultimately, there's that old expression, when the power of staying the same, when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, then you will change.
Right.
And he knew the pain of staying the same versus the pain of change, and so he changed.
Yeah.
And we had an opportunity to meet him. He was up here. He's from California, lives in Utah now.
Yeah.
And is doing deal after deal. And I was really happy for him.
Yeah,
It was
me too.
interesting how we can meet somebody and inside of a minute you're on their side going, man, I hope you kill it.
Yeah, I think we all were just
Yeah.
like, I hope this guy's successful, because
Yeah.
he, I mean, he was stopping into our office on his way back from the airport, and apparently he said he was in like Texas, Nevada, Utah, Idaho. There was a handful of states. I'm like, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
He's out doing things.
It's interesting. In our disclaimer, we say that so much of your success depends on your starting point, your access to resources, your commitment to getting engaged and involved. And I've thought about that a lot of times, and I've thought, man, is it access to resources? Does that actually hinder the opportunity for some people?
I think that a lot of people don't have the knowledge or understanding that they do have access to resources. They just don't know how to get to them.
Right.
Right.
Well, I was
non-traditional ways, right?
right. I was more thinking along the lines of for people who are comfortable.
Yeah.
Do they need a level of discomfort before
I see
they're
what
going
you're
to take
saying.
the opportunity seriously? Or can they have the discipline to say, I am comfortable and I still want to create more, do more, so that I can be a bigger influence for good in the world?
Yeah, I mean, what drives you, right? Like there's some people, I've just noticed that some people won't work until they're hurting for money, and then they're very motivated and to go out and work hard and make money, and then once they've got a fat paycheck, they kind of just take their foot off the gas and relax for a little while till they're broke again.
Right.
But there's others obviously that they're motivated. I think it's not by the financial pain that they might be going through, but rather doing something greater, achieving success. Executives in the drive system, maybe.
Right.
Maybe a director wants to travel and do all these things, and and so that could be what's motivating them, rather than I can't pay rent and buy food.
Right. They I've heard before that there's two great motivators in life:
Yeah.
hope of gain and fear of loss.
Right. There you go.
And for whatever reason, the fear of loss is the greater of the two motivators.
Yeah. Well, fear's a powerful motivator.
I'm just letting that sink in for a second. You know, the opportunity to be an ICM, it is really contingent on every individual.
Yeah.
You know, whether they're going to take the opportunity seriously or they're just going to let it sit by the wayside and go, oh, well, if something comes to me, then I will.
We see it. I see it all the time. You know, I see people, they take the opportunity and they run with it and they really make something of it, you know?
You know, sorry, go ahead.
Well, and just that the opposite happens, you know? I'll see somebody that, I see their name and I'm like, I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody else really does either, or what, you know, it's just because they paid the 197, they signed the agreement and they disappeared. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, you know?
Yeah.
I'd love to know why actually, but anyways.
So Garrett Gunderson did a presentation one time where he was standing on stage and he was actually playing his guitar, which sounds different, and it was different, but he created an ambiance in the room that was incredible, right, with his guitar. And he was just kind of playing this really quiet melody, and he started to ask a question. He stood on stage and he said, if you woke up tomorrow morning and there was $100 sitting on your porch, what would you do with it? And then
put it in my pocket. I have no idea.
He kept
I'd probably be
going,
really
right?
curious where it came from.
So let's assume that there is $100 sitting on your porch that was a gift that somebody had just given you. What would you do?
All right, so I know it's a gift.
So yeah.
So
then on day 2, now you got $1,000 sitting on your porch. What are you going to do? And then day 3, now you've got $10,000 sitting on your porch. What are you going to do? And he's kind of strumming his guitars. He's asking this question. Then he says, okay, you wake up, you've got $100,000 on your porch. What do you do?
Oh, yeah.
And he kept going through these situations all the way up. I think he was up to $10 million kind of deal. Mm-hmm. But then he asked the question. He said, at what point, at which zero, did you stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about other people? He said, that's the point of inspiration. That's the point that every one of us deserves to get to a point where we are bringing in the kind of money where we no longer think about ourselves, but instead think about the other people around us and what we can do to help them, serve them, support them. And as he talked about that, I just thought, man, you know, Renatus really is all about empowering people to be the change they wish to see in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's all about getting to that point where we can enlarge the good we do through the success we can create.
Yep.
You know, it's not about self-aggrandizement. It's not about the whole Lamborghini bikini type model. It's all about getting to a place of stability and understanding where we can focus more on the needs of others than we need to worry about our own.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Make the world a better place. I love it. It's a good message.
Yeah, sorry. That took me down another rabbit hole there, just thinking about Garrett and that presentation. It was so phenomenal, and it really painted a picture. And for every single person on the line, every person with us who's watching this, the ICM opportunity is just that. It's the opportunity to get engaged, get involved, to start creating for yourself and for the people around you an opportunity that will help you to start seeing the world not anymore in terms of what money will do for you, and will help you to see it in terms of what you can do to help others.
Yeah. Yeah. What you can do with the money to make the world a better place. And that's what it's about.
Yeah. So I encourage every single person who can hear us to get your ICM renewed, and get it renewed right now. You know, every year we talk about, every year we have people who wait until the very last minute, and I'm sure that will be true again this year. Just don't let that be any of you. Make sure you get in there, get it taken care of, and get it taken care of now. Get it before you get into the holidays. We are literally 2 weeks away from Christmas.
I know. Can you believe that?
Which is crazy.
Jeez.
It's crazy.
But this year was quick.
Yeah. Yeah, with Thanksgiving being so late in November, it really condensed the amount of time between the two holidays.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's coming a lot quicker than normal.
We lost a week, it feels like. So
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so get it taken care of. Get in there, get into your back office. You've got a pop-up right now in the Helios, in Renatus's back office, and you can get in there, just click Renew ICM, and make sure that you stay inspired. Take real the opportunity that's presented. And I got to tell you, just from my personal experience here, so I have worked with Bob Snyder for the better part of 14 years now. And every single day I come into work excited about what we are doing, and I leave inspired by what we've accomplished and what I get to do tomorrow. And in fact, my wife, I hope she doesn't get mad at me for sharing this, but she has oftentimes said that the greatest compliment that she can give Bob Snyder is that I spend more time with Bob often than I do with her, and yet when I go home at night, I am more committed to being a better father, a better husband, more present, more active in my own life and with my kids because of the effect that Bob has had on me. So I want to encourage you to follow Bob Snyder, follow his example, follow who he is, so that you can become an influence, a power for good, not just in your own life and family, but in the lives of the people that you get to associate with, because that's really what we're here to do, right? Mm-hmm. We're here to progress, we're here to learn, grow, and then help other people do the same thing.
Yep.
And as Zig Ziglar said, the quickest way to get everything that you want in life is to help other people get what they want in life.
And that is true. Yeah, you will go far if you can do that.
Yeah. All right. One more thing that I want to talk about before we get into the main topic, and that is just our schedule for the remainder of the year as far as when the corporate office is open and closed. And it's pretty simple. The week of Christmas, so we are closed the 24th and the 25th, but every other day the lines will be open. Of course, during that time, we are going to ask that you use our chat line before you call in, because we're going to be a little bit light on the staffing. But we're closed the 24th and the 25th, but we're open the rest of the week. And then the following week for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, we're going to be closed both of those days, but we'll again be open the remainder of the week.
Yep.
That's our schedule, and we're sticking to it.
That's our schedule.
Schedule.
Last but not least.
No, definitely not least. In fact, this is probably last and most.
And mostest. Yeah, this is a big deal.
This is huge.
We've never done this. January 1, 2011, Renatus opens its doors for business. Not one time throughout all of that history have we ever discounted our education at all. And, this is only for a very limited time.
Right.
But we have discounted it 20% off, which is a lot of money. Right?
Oh, look at that.
When you're talking about our prices, like when you're talking about, the Epics there, right there, the Epics combo, $25,591. That's, 20% off of that number. Well,
this the $5,198.20.
That's what you save.
That's what you're saving right now if you get the Epics. So the part that's really interesting to me here is that if you take a look at the cost of the Epics right now, the $20,792.80, and take a look at the Extreme before the discount, the Extreme is $20,277, which means right now you are literally only paying $500 more to get the Essentials, the Profits, and the Extreme than you would to just get the Extreme previously.
Alone.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Well, yeah, so we've thought about, calling this like our deflation sale.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Send us ideas if you got some, I don't know.
Like us, you have probably all felt the effect of inflation in your home, in your life. It seems like every time I go to the grocery store, the bill gets higher and higher.
Yeah, it looks like that bill up on the screen.
It just starts to go up and up and up. And so we thought, what better way can we show that we are all in this thing together than for us to bring our prices down at a time when everybody else is taking their prices up?
Yep.
And this is only good through the end of the year, through December 31st. To take advantage of it, all you need to do is go into the back office, go under the orders tab, and then there's a new line there, a new item that you can purchase that has 3 asterisks at the beginning. I wanted it to stand out so everybody could tell which one it was. And then it says something like Epix, so the EPX 20% off discount or sale or something like that. And I don't want anyone to miss this opportunity because, like Matt said, we opened up January 1st of 2011. We are almost 14 full years in business, and we have never done anything even remotely like this before.
Right.
So the odds of this happening again anytime soon, maybe in the next 14 years, but probably not before that.
Yeah. It's definitely not something that we make regular business of. And so I take advantage of it, especially if, it's like, oh, well, might run another one in 6 months or something. No, like nope. I don't, we don't have any plans. I like to leave everything open because you never know, right? Like if we want to do something, I want the latitude to do it.
Right.
But there are no plans currently as it stands to do this ever again. So. We should say something like it's the Renatus response to inflation, or something like that. Here's the part that's really interesting. As we are coming to the conclusion of 2024, all of the key performance indicators are pointed at the direction that the economy is getting better and better, and that real estate is on the verge of another growth spurt. And with that, I would hope that everybody on the line says now is the time to get into real estate. Yeah, get educated.
Right.
Get ahead of the curve. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but last I saw, the jobs report was way up. Stock market's way up. I'm assuming that there's a lot of other industries, and the reason I think I'm not like an expert in this kind of stuff, but I would assume the reason the job numbers are up is because there's optimism in the future that regulations that are stopping businesses from being able to hire or
expand
do more business or
expand, grow.
Whether you are for it or against it, a lot of these major companies are doing mergers and stuff like that. Nonetheless, what happens is growth that takes place, and I would expect real estate to follow.
Yeah, it will, and it's I love real estate as an investment vehicle because it is inflation resistant, right? As the economy inflates, or as the value of the dollar deflates, the
real estate goes up with it.
Yeah, real estate, it goes up. It continues to go up. And as I like the long-term buy and hold strategies, I like having renters and being able to provide safe, affordable housing for individuals. I love doing that. And what happens is, in consequence to like a downturn in the economy or a downturn in real estate, is that you have a lot of people who are gainfully employed, but maybe over-leveraged themselves in a house, and now they've got a bankruptcy or a foreclosure on their credit history. They can't really buy another house, but they still need a place to live. So the rents go up.
Yep.
Right. But then if you have the reverse where the housing is taking off and everything is pointed upward, well, my house is appreciating. And so it's like, it doesn't matter if the economy is going down or going up, my house continues to be more valuable year over year. And I don't know exactly what the historical appreciation percentage is over time.
I don't know what, I've seen graphs, and it often outpaces inflation, right? And so like it's most of the time through history, it's been increasing quicker than the dollar's deflating, right? So it's definitely a good place to, obviously, it's like 90% of the millionaires in this country park their money in real estate. So I mean, it's great for a lot of reasons. I'm not going to teach a class. I'm trying to avoid going way down the rabbit hole and into too much stuff. But
one of the reasons why I love real estate is that it's one of the few investments that I know about. I don't know a ton about a lot of investments, but I know about real estate. It's one of the few investments where I can force appreciation. And that's a term that indicates that I can lay my hands on it and increase its value through the work that I do to it.
I like that. Garrett Gunderson has talked about stocks, and he's like, his philosophy is that he doesn't invest in a stock if he doesn't know everything going on in that business, the culture, the employee conflicts with the boss, whether or not a new CEO is coming in, whether or not somebody's getting fired, and so he's like, if you're just to go buy stock in some company and none of that, you're really gambling,
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
And anyways, and that always stuck with me is like, I don't know anything about these businesses, so I've been hesitant to jump into the stock market.
Yep, but I know real estate, and I know that I can
affect affect the property's value with your own hands, your own work, your own team of if you've got a team of construction where people who flip houses or whatever, everybody's got a different way they're making money in real estate. But the point is that you have the ability to influence the value of that asset.
Right.
So.
Right. And it is just so satisfying knowing that I'm able to provide the safe, clean housing for individuals, and that they are somewhere, they're in a nicer home than they'd be able to otherwise be able to afford. And I just love that. But I really do love being able to watch the value of my rentals continue to increase as inflation has taken a lot of people by surprise. The value of my real estate continues to go up as well.
Yep.
And so anyway, all of that to just say that now is the time to get educated and get involved and really get engaged in your own opportunity, in your own business, because the writing is on the wall, right?
I believe it is. And 20% off. 20% off. I would figure out how to get the order in the system before the end of the month.
Yeah, there is a caveat here, which is it is on a cash epics. The billing does not qualify for the 20% off.
I'm glad you brought that up.
But there is also an opportunity for individuals who own the essentials, who then want to upgrade with the Profits and Extreme. There's on the lower right-hand corner, it's a little fuzzy right there, but if you can see it, that's the upgrade cost for somebody who already owns the essentials. They're going to pay the $18,000. Is that $923? I think.
I believe it says $923. Yeah.
$18,923 is the upgrade fee for somebody who owns the essentials, who then wants to take advantage of this discounted price. That's the benefit they're going to get. Now, again, it is cash only. It's not a billing. Billing's not offered with this. However, this is one of those rare opportunities where I would look at any person who is serious about wanting to get involved in real estate and say, this is the very best price that you will see the Renatus education for.
Yeah.
So get involved.
Yep. Ditto that. Man, I don't even know. I wish that I could more earnestly, more emotionally, more impactfully encourage every single person who's listening to us to take real advantage of this. But ultimately, like we've been discussing this entire call, it's up to you. Yeah. And somebody's going to miss it, and we're going to have to take that call. And I already know it. And that sucks, I meant to, and this and that, and then I didn't get the order in, and now it's 3 days late, and yeah, don't be that person.
We say that this sale runs through the end of December, and that's right on the heels of me saying that we're actually closed December 31st. So
good point.
Just similar to the ICM renewal, don't wait. You don't want to say to yourself, hey, you know what? I got until the 31st, so I'm going to do this, that, and the other, and then I'll get it in. So you wait until the 31st, you go to put it in.
And we're closed.
And you don't know something
you have an
wrong,
issue.
And you're not sure what happened. Yep. And don't wait until the last minute. Get the order in as soon as possible. Get it paid so that you can take advantage of this incredible offer. As Bob and I were talking about this, I almost couldn't believe the solution that we came to. I couldn't believe that we we're able to find a way to offer this to our field, to our family.
Yeah.
You know, we've never done anything like this before, and it's not because we don't want to. It's because so much of what Renatus earns, we turn around and give back to the field.
Right.
And so the margins are so thin on this thing that I wasn't sure that we were going to be able to do it. And I'm really glad. I'm actually really grateful that Bob has taken this one on, because it's a risk for him and for the company. And I just really think that, man, if you're sitting on the fence, get in the game, get on board.
Yeah.
It's time.
And I'd get that, or if you're waiting on, cards to show up in the mail or something like that, or funds, I would get the order in and then put the funds on when you get them.
Yeah.
That way, stuff happens, and then the order never makes it in, and then, like I said, you're a day or 2 or 3 late and calling us, and
yeah,
those suck, taking those calls, because I want to help people, and I'll do everything I can to help people, but I can't do everything. So,
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
There's only so much that I can, only so much magic that I can work. And in some cases, it's like, hey, sorry.
Yeah.
You missed it.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for you.
It was really exciting on this last Founders Live to see hundreds of individuals hop on the call with us for the announcement as Bob was going through the details, the ins and outs of what's going on. And it was so much fun to hear the excitement, to hear individuals, talking with each other and communicating back and forth and talking about what kind of a difference they've been able to make in their own lives with Renatus Education and with the family, the community.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just one of those things where it's like, man, I have never felt more grateful for Renatus, for Bob, for what we're able to do and for the lives that we can affect. I've never been more grateful for being able to serve in this capacity and to offer this kind of incredible value for people that I legitimately consider my family.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It really is so cool to see the excitement building and see people who are just filled with hope and really filled with an enthusiasm moving forward into 2025, looking for new opportunities, looking for new ways to bless their lives and the lives of the people around them. So it's awesome.
Well said, Jay.
It's awesome. Well, you know what? That's really about all I have to share about the sale. Just get involved. Don't delay. Don't wait. Don't let this one pass you by, because this is literally the first time I've seen anything like this in 14 years. I don't expect to see it again for another 14 years. So get involved right now. Okay, man. Any closing thoughts?
Man, have a wonderful Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year's, and enjoy this time with family. And, find a way to be grateful. It will make your outlook on life so much better.
Yeah.
I know that's tough sometimes. Stuff happens. So,
yep.
I'm speaking from experience. So find a way to be grateful. It will better your life.
Yeah. Be grateful and take your opportunity. Don't wait until you are back against the wall and have to do something.
Oh yeah.
Be proactive and be disciplined and go out there and make it happen. And never get to a point where you have to do something, but instead be inspired enough to go out and do it and create the results for yourself.
Agreed.
So, well, thanks everybody. We will be back one more time before the end of the year to share with you all of the updates that are coming to us in the next week. So we'll be back next week at the same time, in the same place. Thanks for being with us, and never forget the reason why Renatus rocks is because of the people who are associated with us, and that includes every single one of you. Thanks for being with us. Renatus rocks.